Hello, Team Elevate. Welcome to your Monday night training call. Today is Monday, January the 15th. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Faith Hill, and I had the honor and privilege of starting this amazing journey with Nathan and Jenny when they founded Team Elevate. So super excited to be with you guys tonight. For those of you that are new to Monday night training calls, the format of this call is pretty simple. We usually try to keep it between 20 and 30 minutes. We really want to honor your time, bring you some impactful training in a succinct manner so that you guys can get back to your lives and to your businesses. So for those of you that aren't aware, the outline of this call is typically in the beginning we go over any announcements that are pertinent to the time, very time-sensitive information. Then next we do a product training or a product highlight, and then after that we do a business training, or maybe it's business, maybe it's interpersonal, but we really try to bring you value in these calls. So tonight hopefully will be no different for you. So first and foremost, announcements. So it is the 15th of the month. So what in the world does that mean? That means that we have a couple of really cool incentives and some promotions that doTERRA has been running that will actually be running out from at the end of today. So let me make sure that you guys can see my screen here. Give me just a quick second to get all that I need done here. Here we go. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. So hopefully you guys can see my screen here. And when you log into doTERRA, a lot of people are like, well, I have no idea. How do I know the specials of the month? So when you log in to doTERRA, you'll see this banner right up here. And it will kind of go through all the specials of the month. So you can kind of see save 10% in January on your Terra Green. So any Terra Green purchase, you'll save 10%. And today is the 15th. So for those of you that are on this call, you're building a business. And so you absolutely have an LRP. The way that we train, if you are actively building a business, you have an LRP of 150 PV or more. Now the 150 PV, if you get that to run before the 15th of the month, then you're automatically eligible to get the free product of the month. And what that is this month is a free wild orange. We love wild orange. Underneath the microscope, it has some of the same properties as an antidepressant. Wild orange packs a lot of punch in that amazing 15 milliliter bottle. But last but not least, today, the 15th, is the last day that they have extended the free frankincense promotion. So if you are already planning on getting your free product of the month at 125, you just need 75 more points, and you get a free frankincense as well, okay? So that is over $90 of free oils, completely free to you from doTERRA, which is amazing. And then as you guys have heard last week, doTERRA actually has a promotion going where it's called New Year, New You. You can actually go in as a wellness advocate and register your classes. If you register your classes, those of your participants that close or buy an enrollment kit from the classes that you have registered, they are actually eligible to get the free 100 points. And there are some things, some little caveats with that you want to make sure that you are aware of. So today's the 15th, lots and lots going on today, being the last day of a couple of those promotions. So hopefully we are back and you guys can see us. So couple of things. The biggest thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, let me just find it in front of me here. Here we go. The product that I actually want to highlight for you guys is one of my personal favorites. I've talked about it on a Monday night call before, and this is our new format of Monday night calls, right? So you guys get to see our faces. There's no more hiding my messy bun on my late Monday night phone call with you guys. I have to actually kind of be a little bit more presentable, but I'm super excited because I actually get to show you some of my favorites. And I have brought this product to you guys as one of my favorites before, and honestly, I can't get over it. It is my go-to. Like, I love this product, but if you've not heard of it, it's a small bottle called Helichrysum. Now, this small 5 milliliter bottle packs so much punch. If you do not have this in your repertoire, guys, get it. If you're a mom, if you know moms, you need to have this on hand. This is one of the most powerful essential oils that gives you a result so quickly. Also, it's 75 PV. So for those of you that were getting your 125 PV to get the free product of the month, add this. Add this month, because if you add a helichrysum, you'll ultimately also get a free frankincense, which is really awesome. But what the heck is helichrysum? Besides a lot of people not knowing how to say it, this is the go-to for any cuts, bruises, boo-boos, ear infections, anything that has to do with nerve regeneration. We actually call this thing liquid stitches. It will stop bleeding. So if you know hairstylists and they nick their fingers, trust me, it's an issue. I was in the industry for 15 years, and it's an issue when they cut their finger and they can't get it to stop bleeding and they've got clients coming. Helichrysum right on there. Hold it for 15 seconds. The bleeding will stop. It's amazing to stop nosebleeds. It is a phenomenal product that works instantaneously. So when you're looking for that product of like, you know, really that bang for your buck and really getting a quick and good result, I cannot tell you the goose eggs that have literally gone away and turned into no bruising. I will put it directly on an open wound. My daughter has, when she was learning how to walk and things like that, we had lots of bumps and boo-boos and all kinds of stuff, and helichrysum got her face out of that range with no lasting marks, which is really, really powerful. So helichrysum is my favorite, all right? So for those of you, what we're going to be talking about today, all right, is those of you that are trying to grow your business intentionally and you're really wanting to do it by having recruiting calls. That's what we're going to talk about. Of course, I have something in my eye, and if this were a phone call, you would not even see that. So sorry about that. But here's the deal. So for those of you that want to grow your business and grow your business utilizing recruiting calls, we're going to talk a little bit about recruiting calls today. Now, Jenni has a phenomenal training on recruiting calls, and I'm not going to go over everything that she goes in that training, but I am going to point to some of those hot topics, and then we're going to expound on that just a little bit, okay? So here's the deal. I found a lot of you guys, really, we love doTERRA Culture. doTERRA Culture is where people start using the product, they have a powerful testimony with something like helichrysum, they use another product, then they use another one, and they're falling in love with all these products, and then they decide they want to do a business. That's amazing. That is doTERRA Culture, and that's how a lot of people really do come into the business. But sometimes you want to be intentional. Maybe you have a goal that you want to reach and you have a specific spot that needs to be filled for you to reach that goal. And so you don't really have time to allow that organic process of somebody falling in love with the product and deciding they want to do the business. You don't have time for that. You have a goal that you want to meet, and so you want to be really intentional for building your business. And so a lot of you guys have uplines. All of you have an upline. And your upline may have taught you or may have encouraged you to start doing some recruiting calls. So where do we find these people? Where do we find these people that we want to reach out to and have a strategic and specific and intentional recruiting call? Well, there's a couple categories of those people. Number one could absolutely be your happy customers. So for those of you that have been in the business for a little while and you do have happy customers, how many stories have I heard from people that I have spoken to that have said, you know, I had a doTERRA account and I was ordering products every now and then, but nobody ever asked me if I wanted to do the business. I really want to do it and I want to be on your team. Well, guess what? I don't want anybody in my business as my customers ever to say that to somebody else. I want my customers to know that if this is something they ever wanted to do, they have me. They have my time, they have my resources, and they have my talents, and I am willing to pour that into them. So let's not forget that sometimes our happy customers, I think a lot of us go into this mentality, we're like, I don't want to bother them, they just want to be a customer. But sometimes asking a question, or all the time asking a question, is not bothering somebody. You're not badgering someone just because you make yourself available to them and you open a door that maybe they have wanted it to be open to begin with. So let's not drop that ball. So happy customers, that's one place that we find these people to do recruiting calls. And the second is that original list of 100 people. Now, some of you guys remember that list from a year ago, and others of you are just getting started and maybe you just wrote that list. Regardless, that list is a huge place to start for finding these people that you want to make recruiting calls. Now, just because they're on your list does not necessarily mean that those are the people that you should be calling. As a matter of fact, that's not always the case. So let me see if I can share my screen here with you guys and see if you can see this. Let's see here. All right, so who are these people? Now, the big thing is, out of the people that are on your list, you want to be able to organize these people in terms of who is going to be rising to the top of this list, right? So here's the reality. You want to make sure that out of your list of 100 people, you are going to categorize them, or what I call score these people, okay? So you're going to score them out of these 7 characteristics. These are the top 7 characteristics of the leaders that are in doTERRA, okay? These are the top 7 characteristics. So out of your list of 100 people, you are, and if you don't have 100 people on your list, you need to go back. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you've been in this business for 6 months or more, I want you to remake that list. You're a different person. You have grown in this business, and you're looking for somebody and something very, very different. So I would love for you to go back and remake that list. And out of that list, you're going to take every single name, and you're going to give them 1 point for every single one of these characteristics that they fall into. Number 1, female. Okay? Now, if they're not female, that's not the end of the world, right, Nathan Oates? Okay? However, they do need to know how to speak to females, okay? Because this is a female-dominated industry. So if they don't know how to speak to females, then that's going to be an issue. Number 2, age 35 to 45. Now, there's a little bit of leeway here, okay? It doesn't mean they have to be in this bracket, but this means this is the most popular bracket. These people tend to be a little bit more settled. They tend to have lived a little bit of life, so they have certain networks that they can pull from. Okay, so if they're just below that age bracket, that's okay, but you want to make sure that they do have that emotional maturity. And if they're above that age bracket, that's okay, but you want to make sure that they have the stamina and the drive to actually grow a business, okay? Number 3, supportive spouse or supportive community. Now, here's the reality with this one is we just want to make sure that they have support. In other words, that their spouse isn't going to be working against them. If their spouse is not about them doing this business, they're going to be less likely to watch the kids for them, right? They're going to be less likely when they have to go out and teach a class to be supportive of that, okay? So we just want to make sure that the spouse is not going to be an actual hindrance or roadblock, okay? And then also if this person is single, we want to make sure that they are surrounded by some very supportive people, especially if they're a single mom, okay? Number 4, is a money need. Now, this may or may not mean that they have to pay their bills and they are literally like down to the wire and cannot make their next month's bills. We're not always talking about that strong of a money need. However, that could absolutely be the case. But a money need could also be that they have a vision or a dream that they want to fund, and currently in the state that they're in, they have no idea how they're going to fund that vision, that dream, or that goal, okay? Number 5, entrepreneurial minded. So this doesn't necessarily mean that they run multiple businesses or anything like that, but what it does mean is they have the understanding that we are not in the business of trading hours for dollars. That as a matter of fact, in the beginning of the grind period of building this business, sometimes it can feel like you're putting a few more hours in than you're getting dollars. However, the entrepreneurial-minded person understands where we're going and understands the big picture there, okay? Number 6 is influential. This does not necessarily mean that they can get on a stage and rock it. Now, that does not hurt, but that doesn't mean that. All it means is that this person is authentic, and people want to do what they say because they have an authentic anointing. People definitely believe what they say. Are they influential? And number 7, probably out of the entire list, this is the number 1 thing that is non-negotiable. They must love natural things. That's the business that we're in, guys. We are in the natural space, okay? So that's the really big deal, and that is certainly the one that is going to be a non-negotiable. So as you're working through your list of 100 people, you're making sure where out of these 7 characteristics, if any, do they fit. And you're going to take the ones that are about a 6 or a 7, okay, 5, 6, or 7, and you are going to be reaching out to them, okay? So there's a 3-part process that happens with these calls, okay? And we're going to talk about 2 of those processes, all right? The 3-part process is this. Number 1, your initial contact, your initial reaching out to them. Number 2, that first contact conversation, okay, that connection point conversation. And number 3, the action steps that you take after that call, all right? Once you've already done the hard work of reaching out to them, you've already done the hard work of scoring them, you've already done the hard work of the initial conversation, you do not want to drop the ball of where to go next, okay? So that's basically where we're going from here. So let's talk about the initial touch point. That initial touch point, it needs to be something that is directive, reconnective, okay, non-emergency, okay, and non-weird, all right? So basically, it would be something like this. If you haven't spoken to that person in a really long time, then you acknowledge that, hey, I know this is super random, but I have something I really want to run by you. Do you have any time to chat today or tomorrow? If you have just talked to them, just say, hey, I know we just talked, but I have something I really want to run by you. Do you happen to have any time today or tomorrow we can grab a quick chat? All right? So what you've done here is you've established a couple things. You've established a time frame without being an emergent, right? Like they don't think it's a panic. They don't think that this is something really emergency, but they do think that this is intentional and it's serious and it does have a time frame. Do you have time today or tomorrow? Just out of etiquette, they're going to let you know if they don't have time today or tomorrow, but they perhaps do Wednesday or Thursday. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the verbiage there. You've also avoided the word opportunity. You've avoided that network marketing feel to the conversation right out the gate. You've already made it just very connected, very personal, and non-weird, okay, which is our key. All right, so once they get on the phone with you, then you are going to rock out that call utilizing the form process that Jenni teaches: family, occupation, recreation, and then your message. Here's the deal, guys. I'm not going to go into a lot of that training because Jenni does a phenomenal, phenomenal job, and I highly encourage each and every one of you, if you're going to start taking action, because I know that you are going to start taking action on these this week, I want you to go and listen to Jenni's training on that. We'll put in the comment section where you can find that training, but you need to know that training is thorough and amazing, okay? And she's going to teach you step by step how to do that call. My one tip for that call for you guys listening to this: make that call about them. This is not about you. Even if you are going after a goal and you are trying to fill a position, you never want to fill a position with anyone that doesn't have goals aligned with that position. So therefore, you don't want this call to be about you and your position. You want this call to be about them, their needs, their wants, their goals, their desires, okay? Jenni does a phenomenal job teaching you how to actually run that call. But where I want to take you guys is what happens when you're on that call, all right? You're reminding yourself when you're on that call why you thought of them in the beginning. What did they score out of these 7 characteristics that made you think of them? Those are the types of things that you're going to be highlighting about them during this call and turning it and making this call about them, okay? So here's the deal. I want to go over what are ways or what are things that could actually, the 4 different scenarios that can actually happen at the end of this call. So here's the deal. You've formed them, you've talked about their family, you've talked about their occupation, you've talked about now your message. You have then changed from everything that you believe about them, everything that you know about them, everything that you see in them in terms of, you know, knowing what they need in terms of money and all of those things and how much they love natural things and what made you say yes to this opportunity and that you really just felt in your spirit this could be a really good fit for them. What do they think? Have you ever even used essential oils before? So now it's their turn to speak again, okay? And this is going to go one of 4 ways, all right? Scenario number 1. This is going to go one of four ways. Hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Scenario number one, I would like more information. Who hasn't heard that before, right? Sure, I'd like more information. Well, sometimes we panic when we hear that and we say, oh, yeah, okay, great. I'll just send you some stuff and that'd be great and we'll just catch up. Don't drop the ball. You've already come this far. You've already had the first call. You've already reached out to them. You've already done the hard work. Don't drop the ball now. Here's your action step. If they say, I want more information, your action steps are one of two things. Number one, send them samples. Have they ever used the product? Maybe more information is they need to feel and experience the product, okay? So send them samples right away or send them links to videos of their areas of interest. Are they wanting to build a business? Then send them the build guide videos. Are they wanting to learn more about doTERRA Corporate? Then go to YouTube and pull some of your favorite videos on co-impact sourcing or the actual business of doTERRA, how they're debt-free and things like that. So what is it that is their interest, okay? So great, you want more information? Let me now find out what other information you want. Do not, this is number one for you, do not get off this phone without scheduling your follow-up with them. Number one, I'm going to send you some samples out tomorrow. You'll get them in 2 days. I'll give you 24 hours to use them. Let's go ahead and set up a follow-up for Sunday, okay? What time is really good for you Sunday? We can hop on a quick call, okay? Do not get off this phone without scheduling that follow-up with them, okay? Or follow up with them after they've watched the video. I'm going to send you this link right away. When do you think that you'll get to watch that video? Great, tomorrow. Perfect. What time tomorrow afternoon can you talk? Great. Don't get off the phone without scheduling that follow-up, okay? All right, scenario number two. Scenario number two is I'm interested in knowing more, meaning I'm interested. I would actually like to do this. I'm more interested than not, right? I'm interested. So here's what you want to do. As soon as you hear that word, I'm interested, you want to get them scheduled with your upline ASAP. ASAP. Do not let any water go under the bridge with that. And here's how you pre-frame that call, okay? That's awesome that you're interested in this. I really thought that it would be a good fit for you too. I'll tell you what. My business partner, she knows a lot more about this business than I do. She's been doing it a little bit longer than me. So I wonder, would you be open to even hopping on a quick call with her because she is so amazing at asking some discovery questions to really find out and help you find out if this really is a good fit for you or not. One thing that I love about her is she's not about putting square pegs in round holes. If this is really not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, she can really kind of help give you a good concept of how it can fit in with what you're doing currently or even help you replace what you're doing currently. What time frames would be good for you to hop on that call? You do not want to get off that phone without getting 3 windows of availability that you can present to your upline and say, hey, I have a gal that would like a 3-way phone call and she can do this time, or this time. Does do any of those work for you, okay? So that's a really good way to support your upline by being very directive and giving them some clear indicators. It's also really good for you because it helps forward progress that conversation, but it also takes the pressure off of you. You've already done the hard work. You've already done the hard work. Let your upline help take it from there, okay? So send your upline a text right away, maybe even while you're on the phone. And while you're wrapping up with your person, you may even hear from your upline and be able to schedule it right then and there. So if they're interested in knowing more, they show somewhat of interest or they show somewhat of a positive response, your next step is to get them on the phone with your upline, okay? All right, so what is the next one? Okay, the dreaded, well, let me think about it. Excuse me, we have all had that. We've all had that, okay, well, let me just think about it. Okay, great. Usually we recoil. We say, oh, yeah, totally, girl, you just think about it. We'll catch up some other time, no worries. We recoil. We try to do the whole it's totally cool thing and back way, way, way off, okay? Here's the deal. You are not without action. You must take action. If they say they want to think about it, say great. And while you're processing, what is some information that you would find valuable in your decision making? All right, so now you're going to refer back to scenario 1 that they wanted more information, right? You're going to do some discovery and find out, do they need samples? Do they need product? Do they need a video to watch, right? What is the information or what are they thinking about? Are they thinking about the business? Are they thinking about the company? Are they thinking about the product? Are they thinking of all three? You want to make sure you get clear on what it is they're thinking about so that you can send them valuable information to help them in their thinking. And last but certainly not least, you're not getting off the phone without scheduling that follow-up, okay? Don't get off the phone without scheduling your follow-up, all right? And scenario number 4, last but certainly not least, I am not interested. We love the candor. We appreciate the honesty. And yet, we typically end the call right then and there, and you have let all that hard work that you just did completely go to the wayside. Here's what you do. You still have action if they say, I am just not interested. You say, you know what? Because as a matter of fact, guys, I said I was not interested. I told Nathan and Jenny, thank you so much. I'm not interested, okay, at all. And Jenny actually started in to this exact response. However, it wasn't long, and the rest is history, but my husband was the one that said we really need to be doing this. So anyway, that you never know what can happen. But last but certainly not least, here is your action. You need to say, I totally respect that and I appreciate your time. You obviously know why I thought of you for this because you just told them, right? You just highlighted all those characteristics that they had. So I hope you know how much I really do respect you and would value your opinion and even your referral. Do you happen to know of anyone that would fall into the majority of these 7 characteristics that you would think would be a really great fit for me to pour my time and my resources into? All right? When they hear those 7 characteristics, one of 2 things is going to happen. They're going to go, that really is me. Or they're going to go, you know, I really do know someone, and most people really do want to help you out. Maybe they don't want to do this business, and that's okay. Maybe this isn't the right timing for them. But if you just hang the phone up then you have no idea what else you could have gotten from that conversation. So this is one of the best things that you can do. Do not take it personal. Do not recoil. All you have to do is keep yourself grounded, keep yourself connected to that person, and let this be your next action step. So I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll now with your calls and your next strategic business calls. I hope that you guys really take action on these. The heartbeat behind this training was that you would know where to go no matter what response came your way, okay? A lot of the time, you guys are doing the hard work. You're making your list, you're scoring your list, you're reaching out, you're getting these initial phone calls underway, but based on how they go, you really kind of don't know where to go from there. So hopefully these tangible action steps for you will help you not be stuck no matter what scenario comes your way. So bless you guys with amazing success and the rest of January. We look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Bye.